My name is Braden, and on this episode of False Fact Sports, we will be going over the outlook on the Panthers' 2024 NFL season. This Panthers team finished last in the entire league, going a whopping 2-15, only winning by a field goal in each of their fourth quarter victories. Having such an incredibly horrible season, you'd be surprised to hear that they have an actually bright future ahead of them. 11 games into the 2024 season, former Colts head coach Frank Reich was fired from the head coaching job in Carolina. Whether Frank had time to right the wrongs or not, he was swiftly replaced by an interim head coach to finish the season. This 2-15 team was led by the first overall pick from Alabama, Bryce Young. Bryce struggled severely, not throwing more than 11 touchdowns and only throwing one less interception with 10. But there is a very bright light at the end of this losing tunnel, and that's the new head coach, Dave Canales, and the new GM, Dan Morgan, a former All-Pro linebacker for the Panthers. These two bring an image to Carolina of grit and physicality, as they like to say on the Panther-produced show, Blueprint. This is an extremely exciting thing for all Panthers fans when you look and see what Dave has done in his previous roles, specifically with quarterbacks in Seattle and Tampa Bay. Dave Canales first shined in his role as the quarterbacks coach in Seattle, under the legendary Pete Carroll. Dave took the backup quarterback in Smith, who only threw 4 touchdowns over 4 games played in 2021, and turns Geno Smith into an all-star QB, throwing 4,200 yards with 30 touchdowns and only 11 interceptions. Dave Canales' next landing spot was the OC job for Tampa Bay. Dave sees the 3-time traded quarterback with Baker Mayfield being benched by the Rams, Panthers, and the Browns, and turns him into a playoff quarterback. Baker played on 2 teams in 2022, throwing 10 touchdowns and 8 interceptions, but then rapidly turns it around, throwing 4,000 yards, 28 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. Not only did he improve statistically, he also took the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to the second round of the NFL playoffs. Dave Canales has proven to improve bad quarterbacks into leaders in good teams. This is super exciting for Panthers fans. Dan Morgan also did some very veteran GM things, even though this is his first time being the general manager for a National Football team. He brings in the 11-year vet in Jadeveon Clowney, brings in a great route runner from Pittsburgh in Deontay Johnson. They also signed a scrappy and intelligent linebacker out of Denver, Josie Jewell. You also can't forget the signing that bolstered their interior O-line with Robert Hunt and Damian Lewis. This protects Bryce Young from even more pressure, seeing as they let up way too many sacks for a rookie quarterback to succeed. Dan Morgan also helped facilitate a lot of draft day trades to land their guys. They trade up into the first round to get the 5th-year option on Xavier Legette.
Woke up a Carolina Panther this morning. Did you have to pinch yourself a little bit?
Oh no, man. I woke up ready, man. I got a call right after I got dressed. They was coming to pick me up at 9:30 in the morning. I told them I'm going to be ready.
They trade back and then back up to get Jonathan Brooks. And then they got Jadavion Sanders, who fell to them in the 4th round. They also drafted defensive studs in Trevin Wallace and Shea Smith-Wade. So now we look to see what we can expect from them after this roster got revamped in this fall. The Panthers open in New Orleans, and I expect them to lose. They will have a lot of wrinkles to iron out. Their offense may not be able to work as well as it needs to beat the Saints team. They had a very good draft in their own right, but I think that the outcome will change in Week 7 when they rematch after this team kind of wrinkles out all its wrinkles. Week 2, the Panthers host the completely changed Chargers. The Chargers lost Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. Their defense is aging. They really only have Joey Bosa. They lost Austin Eckler on the offensive side of the ball, and all they really added was Ladd McConkey in the draft and Gus Edwards from Baltimore. I think the Panthers will leave with a win in their home stadium, and it'll bring a little bit of hope to the Panthers going into Week 3. I think they leave Week 3 with another win. This is going to be the only time you see the Panthers win a winning record this season, but I don't think Las Vegas is confident enough in their offense, in their quarterback, to beat a scrappy, maybe not the best, but definitely a decent defense in the league. They will head back home, and they will get rocked by the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow is too good of a quarterback to let J.C. Horn lock up Jamar Chase or let any of the DBs lock up that receiver room, even though the run game will not be nearly as lethal as it was in seasons previous. Week 5 will be the battle of the number 1 picks. They're going to go to Chicago, and they're going to play Caleb Williams. And Caleb Williams has struggled in training camp, but I don't think this roster is weak enough to even let that harm them against the Panthers. This roster has been bolstered on both sides of the ball through the draft. They have DJ Moore. They have Keenan Allen. They have Romeo Dunze, a crazy wide receiver core, and even if Caleb Williams struggles, he will not be nearly as out, just due to the roster surrounding him. Week 6 is going to be another loss for the Panthers as they start the series where they will get swept against the Falcons. The Falcons look way too good now that they have a competent quarterback and a competent offense with a coach that knows what they're doing. Sadly, this will be a haul. So, the Panthers are not going to look good against the home fans. I think these next 2 weeks will be up in the air. They play Washington and Denver. Both rosters are very weak, very young, and led by 2 quarterbacks that are new to the league. I think they can beat Washington. I don't think Washington has nearly as much to give, but I think Denver has too much hope and too much that they can build upon for the Panthers to take that down. So I think they're going to leave that with 1 win and 1 loss. Then we're to week 7. They rematch the Saints, but it's on home terms. It's after the offense works out, and I think this is where they win. This is going to be their only win in the NFC East, or in the NFC South this year. I don't know. I just think they can iron out a lot of those wrinkles. That'll be wrinkle free, and they will split that season series with the Saints. The last game before their Week 11 bye week is a home game against the Giants, and I think they will leave there with a win too. So they're going to go on a nice little 2-game winning streak before they head into their bye week. They will leave with a 500 record and then lose to the reigning Super Bowl champions. They have nothing for Kansas City. Kansas City is too lethal on every side of the ball for them to do anything offensively or defensively. Week 13 is their first of 2 games against Tampa Bay where they will lose. Tampa Bay was a playoff team. Even though Dave Canales left to come to us, I do think that they still have way too many weapons to not win the division. The Panthers will also lose their games after that. They play 2 NFC East teams with Dallas and Philadelphia. Both are playoff teams. Both are teams that should easily take care of the Panthers unless the Panthers find a second gear. And they will get their last win a week after those 2 games with the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona Cardinals, in my opinion, will be the worst team this year. Shaky quarterback play, no real additions. They actually, in my opinion, let go one of their best players with Rondale Moore. And then to finish the season, they're going to let the Buccaneers and the Falcons sweep them in the series, in the conference series. And they're going to finish 3rd in the division. That'll be a 6-11 season, which vastly improves on the 2-15 season in the previous year. The Panthers won't be a playoff team. They may still be the last in the NFC South, but no matter their NFL standings, there's a lot to look forward to under Dave Canales and this new, young, and hungry lineup. That's it on today's episode. Hit the like button, click subscribe, and we'll see you on the next.